Did you?
The whole world is polluting everybody the way it's going.
What's that phrase, polluting?
It is.
Why is it polluting, Jean?
Because you are what you are. You are where you are born.
But hang on, Jean.
Your inheritance. It's your inheritance.
What is up, everybody? Harry here. This is a clip from 2021, resurfacing LBC's James O'Brien hosted show featuring David Lammy, then a Labour MP, taking a call from a listener named Jean, who tells him directly that despite being born in England, he can never be English because he's black. Lammy's response draws on real UK history, the Huguenots, Danish settlement, and the existence of white Caribbean communities dating back centuries, to challenge the idea that English has ever meant one fixed ethnicity. The closing narration then draws a line to more recent political rhetoric, including Robert Jenrick's controversial comments about a part of Birmingham. Let's get into what actually holds up historically and where the broader argument is interpretation. Get subscribed if that's useful to you.
You keep saying that you are African Caribbean, which is fine, but how can you be African Caribbean and English? I couldn't be African. I'm English, but I certainly could not call myself African Caribbean.
You could be Irish, though. You could have Irish.
No, I'm not Irish.
Yeah,
I'm
but
not
you could
Scottish.
be. You could be.
No, I'm not, because I have looked my name right the way back to the Middle Ages, my maiden name, and I'm Anglo-Saxon.
Great.
But you will never be English. You are African Caribbean.
But why will I never be English?
Because you're African Caribbean.
Look,
I can't say to you.
At what point? What about my kids? What are my kids? What are my kids?
I can't say I'm African Caribbean.
What? Yeah, but the truth is, Jean, just a little bit of history on this. Britain, 400 years ago, started going out into the world. It colonised and conquered a lot of the world. A lot of the world has ended up coming back to the mother country. My parents were part of that generation who came from the Caribbean. When I took a DNA test, I actually had Scottish in me, probably because as a result of that. Someone somewhere, frankly, got their leg over with one of my ancestors, and I've got Scottish blood running through me. I've said that gently, but it could have been horrendous. Let's be clear about that. And here I am, having grown up in this country, have been born of this country, and actually, the truth is, it's a myth that there's one English ethnicity. There's not, because England has always been a country in which Huguenots, Danes, all sorts of people have passed through. So when you say you are English, I'm not saying that doesn't mean something to you and matter hugely.
It does.
Because there are probably, as you put it, years and years, hundreds of years of experience of that. But it is to say that for me, the fact that I was born here and the fact that my sensibilities are English mean that I want to claim that heritage as well. Now, I'm very comfortable saying I'm British, black British. Of course I am. And I'm very, very proud. No one could say I wasn't, because I talk about it all the time, about my Caribbean roots. And I know the Caribbean very well. But it's to say that I'm English. Sorry? What?
You're British, but you're not English.
Well, that's the point I think you're making, and I'm disagreeing with that. Tell me, what do you think? What do you think?
If I was born in the Caribbean as a white person, I certainly wouldn't call myself.
Yeah. Well, I'm afraid
Caribbean.
You obviously have you ever been to the Caribbean, Jean?
I haven't. No, I haven't had the fortune.
Well, then you probably don't realise that in countries like Barbados, there are significant white Caribbean populations who have been there for hundreds of years, and they are significantly more Caribbean than I am.
Well, all
Didn't
I
know
can
that,
say
did
is
you?
the whole world is polluting everybody the way it's going.
What's that phrase, polluting?
It is.
Why is it polluting, Jean?
Because you are what you are. You are where you are born.
But hang on,
You are
Jean. I
your
don't.
inheritance. It's your inheritance.
Jean, I can tell that you are more senior than I am in age. So I want to be polite.
No, don't do that.
In
Don't
this
do
conversation.
that.
Well, that's how I was brought up, that you're polite to your seniors, Jean. But what I'm saying is the word pollution. Where's that word pollution come from? It's a very negative way.
Well, I'm sorry for that,
but it is negative. It's a negative way to describe the fact that people meet one another, they fall in love, they have kids, they move borders, sometimes through war, sometimes through economic reasons, and they become what they become when they are of that country. And just as you can be in America, and you can be African American, or you can be Italian American, or you can be Irish American. How is it that here in England you can only claim that Englishness effectively, Jean, if you are white?
Watch Lammy's specific historical claims closely, because they're all genuinely accurate rather than rhetorical flourishes. Huguenot Protestant refugees fled to England in large numbers in the 16th and 17th centuries and became a well-documented part of English demographic and economic history. Danish settlement across large parts of England, the Danelaw, is a similarly well-established historical fact from the Viking Age, and white Caribbean communities with centuries-long roots, including Barbados's Redlegs, descended from 17th century indentured servants and prisoners, are real, documented populations, exactly as Lammy describes. None of that is exaggeration. It's accurate history used to challenge a specific testable claim that Englishness has a fixed ethnic definition. The generic comparison the closing narration draws is worth treating carefully because the underlying event is real and well documented. But the interpretive link to Jean's call is doing more work than meant. The facts alone establish, Jenrick did say in remarks from March that later became public, that he spent 90 minutes in Handsworth, Birmingham, and didn't see another white face, calling it one of the worst integrated places he'd visited and saying it wasn't the kind of country he wanted to live in. That's accurately reported. Local residents and business owners publicly disputed the characterization. And the 2021 census actually puts Birmingham's population at roughly 49% white and 51% from other ethnic backgrounds, a genuinely mixed city rather than one matching Jenrick's description of an area apparently lacking white residents entirely. Kemi Badenoch defended the comments as nothing wrong, while political opponents and unions called them racist. So this remains a live, disputed characterization rather than a settled one. Where it's worth pausing is the leap from "this event happened and was controversial" to "this proves the same underlying belief as Jean's explicit statement that Lammy can never be English." Jenrick's own stated position was that his comments were about integration patterns, not about who can claim a national identity, and he explicitly said it's not about the color of your skin. Whether that framing is a sincere distinction or, as critics argue, a more polished version of the same underlying idea, is a genuine interpretive judgment, not something this specific comparison settles as established fact. It's a real question worth taking seriously, given how directly critics linked the language, but it remains an argument about intent and pattern, not a direct equivalence between two different statements from two different people in two different contexts. If breakdowns like this are useful to you, get subscribed to Harry Unfiltered, and I'll keep checking the specifics as carefully as this deserves.